Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. I just wanted to do a video on nerve energy and the 10 energy enhancers. Hopefully you can hear me okay. So what is nerve energy? Nerve energy is the low-grade electrical current that is created by your brain every day. It's used to stimulate every cell of the body to carry out their daily functions. So if you have low nerve energy, you will not have optimum or total health, happiness, well-being. It's critical for just overall a happy, amazing life. So the best way to explain nerve energy is if you picture your brain as being the power plant that supplies power to the whole nation, and it sends that power, the electrical current, through the power lines, which is your spinal cord and peripheral nerves, out to all the cells of the body. So if there's a break in any of that, or if you don't have enough electrical current to send out to the homes, the cells are like the homes and the businesses of the land that require the electrical current or frequency, nerve energy. So it's critical to have high nerve energy to conserve it as much as possible and to build reserves of it. We don't literally have a battery in our brain or in our body, but if you just picture having a battery, somewhere by your brain, every time you conserve nerve energy and don't waste it on food or drink or anything that has a pollutant or a chemical in it, you can put that into the reserves and you start building that reserve. So when you have a bad day, you have a little bit of reserves that you can use to maybe digest a meal that was a cheat meal or a cheat day. So it's critical to have nerve energy and to have high levels of it and to not waste it. Wasting it is pretty typical nowadays, and you don't want to waste it. You want to conserve it. So how do you conserve nerve energy? We use the 10 energy enhancers. If you incorporate or adopt these into your life, you'll start seeing changes. You'll start noticing differences. You'll start seeing improvements in health and happiness and well-being. So I'll jump into them. Number one is cleanliness of the body, both internally and externally. And that simply just means wash up on the outside, use some shampoo, clean your nails, brush your teeth, keep your skin clean, and just keep in mind that your skin is also the largest organ of the body. So you have to be very careful what you put on it because it absorbs into the body. And then internally, that kind of incorporates into some of the other energy enhancers, but what you're putting in, what you're drinking, what you're breathing, again, through the skin is another one that gets to the internal. So keep your body clean on the outside and keep it clean on the inside. And of course, number two is pure air. And most of us don't think of air. I mean, we breathe it and we're not coughing, we're not sneezing most of the time. So it must be pretty pure, which is so far from the truth that it's not even funny, because our lungs are made up of about 1 billion tiny cells, and we move about 130,000 cubic inches of air every day through our lungs. And we also pump about 125 to 128 barrels of blood through our lungs to transfer oxygen and carbon dioxide back and forth. So clean air, pure air is super important. Unfortunately, Americans, if you're here in America, we spend 90 to 95% of our day and night indoors. And some studies that have just come out in the last 10 years show that indoor air quality in America is up to 10 times more polluted than outside air. Obviously, if you live in a big city that's, smog filled and stuff, that you might have to get out to a park or get out into the mountains or away from the city to get that pure clean air. But as much time as you can spend outside is really going to benefit you. So just try to get outside, try to get fresh, clean air. And you'll see as we move through this list, there's a couple other energy enhancers that you can incorporate together to, I guess, save you some time and knock out a couple while doing the same thing. Number 3 is pure water. So the human body, 72, some people say 74% water it's made up of. So it's really important to have enough water and good quality water. Pure water is super important. The average human has 44 quarts of water in it at any given time. We lose 3 to 4 quarts a day through respiration, sweat, and just, urination and bodily function. The cells are constantly using water to carry out their functions and to transfer toxins and waste and, just moving stuff around in the body. So having enough water is super important. So, and then number 4 is adequate rest, relaxation, and sleep. I know myself, I still struggle with sleep. I think most of us do. There's really no definitive answer on you need 4 hours, you need 8 hours, but I can say this: the cleaner your body is and the more nerve energy you have built up into the reserves and the more you're conserving, the more you can get away with not sleeping as much because your body doesn't need that. But we do, have our circadian rhythm that tells us, oh, the sun's going down, oh, sun's coming up, sleep, awake, that good stuff. So you have to be careful. You still need to sleep, and your organs and your brain and your heart all get their rest and rebuild and, carry out their rebuilding process and healing while we're sleeping. So it's super important to get a good night's sleep. A cat nap, 5 to 20 minutes a day. Everybody should be doing that, even if it's 5 minutes. I know that sounds like a waste, but it really isn't. It's super beneficial to you. My last job, I would always laugh at the guys because they would take 5 or 10 minute, they call them siestas, but it really benefits people. And it's been proven in research that companies that let people take naps at work, they're more productive the rest of the day than people that don't take a nap. A siesta of 60 minutes would be ideal every day to do. I struggle with that because I have this guilt thing that comes in like, oh, I should be doing something. I shouldn't be sleeping. It's lazy to lay around, and you just have to work through that and get past that. So, and then relaxation. Americans now think, unfortunately, that grabbing a Starbucks or, your favorite drink or snack and then sitting on the couch, putting on your favorite streaming network and just binging for hours and hours and hours is relaxation. And that's so far from the truth. You need true rest and relaxation. You need to find yourself a quiet place that you can get comfortable for even 5 minutes and just relax your body and quiet the mind and the body and just sit with no thought, without worrying about anything. Even if you can only do it, my fiance, my business partner, she says, even if you can only do it for, 5 to 10 seconds, 30 seconds, it's better than nothing. So just find a quiet place, sit, get comfortable, lay down, whatever you can do where it's safe. And obviously don't do it if you're driving, and then just quiet the mind, quiet the body, and just relax, true relax. We really struggle with that in America to get rest and relaxation and even sleep nowadays. So find time to get some rest, find time to get some relaxation, and take your cat naps or your siesta, whatever you can fit in. It'll greatly help you and your health and your well-being. Meditation is another great thing that you can do. And you'll see here in a minute, I'll talk about this, but number 5 is the ideal diet, and it's a very touchy subject. You'll hear everything on one spectrum from, the keto diet's amazing, and the next one might be, it's the caveman diet. There's the meat eater diet. There's plant-based. There's vegan. There's, the standard American diet, the SAD, SAD, which is what most people live on, which is what I was living on. But you have to remember, without getting into this, because the ideal diet's one that I've done multiple videos on, and I could go on and on and on, but you just have to be careful. What you put in is what your body has to break down, digest, and eliminate. So if it's a pure, I mean, I'm plant-based, but if you're not eating that, that's fine. But just as an example, if I eat a bell pepper, it's got pure water, it's got pure minerals and vitamins and fiber. And the fiber is the big thing. Processed food, they remove most of it or break it down and damage it. So my body doesn't have to do as much work to digest that bell pepper. Whereas if I go eat, say, a pretzel at a football game, think of all the chemicals, all the additives that are in that pretzel. And then, if you're gluten intolerant or sensitive to gluten or any of those things, your body really struggles with that. So again, the ideal diet's a touchy subject. Reach out to your coach, nutritionist, or doctor to find out what you should be eating. Everybody's different. Remember, we're all unique. So the keto diet might work for one and the caveman diet might work for another, but for you, you might struggle with both of them. So you got to find somebody that understands that. You can always reach out to us, but you got to find something that works for you, because we're all unique again. We're one of a kind. So don't ever forget that. Just do what you can to eat food, snacks, even the drink that has as few of pollutants as possible, not full of contaminants. And just think about your body and think about your energy, your brain creating that nerve energy. Think about how much am I going to have to use to break this down, this bell pepper or this pretzel? Which one is going to conserve and help me build reserves of nerve energy? So just be very mindful of your diet. It's one of the big ones. It can literally, put you into the disease stages, enervation, all the way to, your final day. So be very careful. And then number 6 is adequate sunshine or natural light. This is another touchy one. There are people that'll tell you not to go in the sun because it will damage you, but scientists are still trying to figure out all the benefits that we get from the sunshine. The nutrients that are released, the processes that start to happen inside the body, we still don't know it all. We just know it's beneficial, given that you take it in healthy time frames. Between 10 and 2, some people say 3, you want to get that window. It's either before 10 or after 3 is what I go by, because people ask, why is that? Well, if you think of it, if the sun is up here straight down, it's burning you the most. Less time equals a quicker burn. So you want it 10 and 3, where the sun rays are at a less severe angle from being straight down on you. You burn less quick. So, and how should you get it? I like to go lay on the deck, put a towel down, have as much skin showing as possible. Always protect your eyes. Don't stare into the sun. Protect the delicate skin of the face and genitals if you're sunbathing nude, but as much sun as you can get to as much of the body as possible. Just lay there 5 to 20 minutes front side, 5 to 20 minutes back side, and then you're done. What I do on top of that is I will wear a hat with no sunglasses, because we do need it through the eyes. We know vitamin D is one of the big ones. It also helps with metabolism. It will speed up your metabolism to get proper sunshine. So just make sure you're getting adequate sunshine. It helps with depression. I mean, if you go outside and it's sunny like it is right now, you'll be happier. That you can't deny that fact. No matter what's going on in your life, just that sunshine, that warmness on your skin really, really helps, and it really boosts your mood. So get out, get some sun. And like I said earlier, while you're doing that, what I do is I put in my earbuds or earphones, or just put the phone next to you, put on a meditation, put on some relaxing sounds, or if you're in a quiet place like we are, and you have birds and just the sound of the trees getting the wind through them, just do that. You can get your relaxation, your meditation, and you can also get your pure air. So by doing adequate sunshine every day, and you should do it every day, you will get hopefully your pure air if you're in a clean area, and you'll get some rest and relaxation. You can do a meditation. Sometimes I'll listen to a meditation. So number 6 is a big one. Get out, get some sunshine. Number 7 is one that kind of baffled me, and it baffles a lot of people. Correct or right temperatures. And what is a correct or right temperature? It's simply don't be too cold and don't be too hot. We have people that live in climates that are way too cold, and we have people that live in climates that are way too hot. And, they can't help that. That's where they live, but it's not healthy. Most people struggle with keeping their house at a correct temperature. If you're all bundled up, it's too cold. And if you're sweating, it's too hot. You want it to be comfortable. You want to be able to be in your home in the nude is the best way that I can describe it. If you're comfortable being nude, you probably have a good temperature in your house. Sleeping is another one where people struggle. They'll bundle all up, and then you start sweating once you get into that sleep and you're all covered up in the covers. That's also not very healthy. And then you have people that sleep nude and they're like freezing all night. That's not healthy. You have to be in a comfortable range. So just make sure you're in the correct or right temperature range. It really drains your body if it's having to stay warm or try to cool down, sweating or trying to heat internally. So just be very, very careful what temperature range you're living at, working at. Obviously, you'll have times during the day where you're at work and you're sweating. That's fine. Exercise is another time that you're going to be sweating. Fever is another time that you're going to be sweating. So, and you might get the chills. So just stay in a correct temperature range as much as possible throughout your day and night. And then 8 is another big one. It's another touchy subject with people. Regular exercise. I go by 3 rules. 1, you have to stretch. 2, strain. And 3, sweat. And what does that mean? Stretch is pretty simple. You do some stretching, and if you're bedridden or chair ridden and you can't move, don't come up with the excuse that you can't do anything. You can do a simple movement like this. Even if you only move your hand, even if you can only move your head, it's movement, it's stretching. So please do it. I like to do 5 to 20 minutes of stretching. Some people do it before a workout. I found that it benefits me more after a workout, because stretching, it stretches out your muscles. So when you're going to do weights, I found that I can't do as many reps or as much weight if I stretch before. I do warm up though. I hop on the exercise bike for 5 minutes before I do a workout just to get your body warm, everything going, your blood flowing. So you can either stretch before or after, whatever works best for you, but please stretch. You'll see people, they'll just go work out, they'll just lift weights. They won't sweat and they won't stretch. And you're really hindering your overall muscle development, health. So stretch, then sweat. What does sweat mean? It's cardio. You can hop on a bike, a treadmill, you can go for a run, you can go for a hike. If you're the key thing here is to keep your heart rate elevated. You don't want to be at a resting heart rate, and obviously you don't want to be too high. So whatever you can look it up online, whatever your healthy heart rate is for exercise, your active heart rate, that's what you want to stay in. And you can get metabolic testing to show you exactly where your range should be. Everybody's different. So, and then strain. What does strain mean? It's weights or bands or whatever you have. I use free weights, dumbbells. You can use your own body weight too, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups. So their exercise is critical because we don't talk about it enough, but lymphatic system. Some people, I didn't even know what it was years ago, but you have a second system running throughout your whole body. It's not connected to the heart. It doesn't have a pump. So It's not pumping with the heart and moving through your body, but it requires muscle contraction. So when you squeeze your leg, it squeezes the lymph vessels and the lymph nodes, and your lymph nodes are like little garbage cans. So when you have the vessel coming into that garbage can, if you're not squeezing the muscle around that, it can't pump because it doesn't have the heart. So it requires movement to get it up, and it needs to dump into your kidneys, some stuff into your lungs, out through the skin. It's eliminated through urination. So if you're not moving, you'll hear this all the time. People that go to the hospital, sadly, or go into hospice care, it's into their lymph nodes, they're swollen. It's because their lymph nodes aren't moving. You're not moving your lymphatic system. You have to have movement. Please exercise. Always talk to your doctor before you start an exercise or diet plan, but you have to have some kind of movement, even if it's the simple head stuff. Just move. You got to have movement and try to get it through your whole body. If you're paralyzed or, like I said, bedroom, see if you can have a nurse or somebody, a family member that can even move your legs. And there are people that do lymphatic massage to get that moving because it has little valves. So when it pumps up, it can't go back down, but it has to have muscle contraction to pump it up, and it just keeps going. So lymphatic system's super important, and it needs exercise. It needs movement, stretching. Yoga is another great one. Angie taught me some yoga stuff, and I thought I was strong with weight stuff and growing up on a farm, but yoga showed me there's supportive muscles that I didn't even know were there, and ligaments and stuff that were super weak on me. So if you can do yoga, do yoga. Get some kind of movement, stretch, sweat, and strain. Number 9 is emotional balance, freedom from addictions, high self-esteem, and a purposeful life with meaningful choices. I don't use the word goals because it means that you don't have it. You have to try to figure out how to get it because it's a goal. A choice means you can choose to have it, and it's already within you, which it is. You just have to choose to have it. So emotional balance. Are your moods regulated? Are you happy one minute, sad the next minute? Are you all over the place? Are you crying? Are you laughing? Just find some emotional balance. Reach out to a therapist, a counselor, a coach, if you're struggling with that. Because you have to have the emotional balance. You have to be, at least regulated. You can't be all over the place. That really drains your nerve energy to go from emotion to emotion. And sometimes, or most of the time, I should say, there's underlying trauma in the past that's causing some of that. So along with addictions. And you have to realize that addictions, most people, when you say addiction, they think of the person that's drinking or, the alcoholic or somebody that's doing heroin or cocaine. And that's part of addiction, but there's more to it. There's food. Food is one that people to this day refuse to think is an addiction, and it is. So you have food. People are addicted to drama. I used to be really bad at that. People are addicted to binging TV. You get addicted, show hole, that whole joke of that commercial that came out, I'm stuck in a show hole. That's because you're addicted to TV. Porn's another big one that people are addicted to. And, having a healthy sex life is important. And I'm not saying porn is bad, but if you're doing that all the time and it's starting to interfere with your life, just like drugs and alcohol, food, if it's starting to interfere with your life, you're not free from addiction. So those are big ones because those take a big toll on your nerve energy. There's a lot of chemicals. There's a lot of toxins that are put into the body or into the brain, because it's not just something that you put into your system. If you're watching something that's toxic to you, it's also a draining of nerve energy. So think about what you're watching too. Don't just think about what you're putting in your body, drinking, injecting. You just have to be really careful. And then high self-esteem is another hard one, talking about streaming and the internet. There's so many influencers that, let's just be honest, their life is fake. All this stuff is given to them. And then they put it together and promote this as, oh, this is my life, I'm amazing. And people watch that and it really knocks you down. So high self-esteem with all the models that are airbrushed and all this stuff nowadays. Um, and with the internet, information, pictures, videos are just like instant. They go faster almost than the speed of light. It seems sometimes. So you have to be really careful what you're looking at. You have to realize and remember that most of these things you're seeing aren't real. Be very careful with influencers. They will make you feel bad about yourself. You watching TV and the commercials, so just be very careful. Self-esteem is something you need to build from within. You have to love yourself. And then a purposeful life with meaningful choices. What does that mean? I believe in something called the internal compass, which is what shows you what you're put on earth to do. What is your true purpose? Your internal compass will lead you towards that, but you have to follow it and you have to listen to it. So if you're working a job that makes you super unhappy and you're always miserable, you don't feel like you're benefiting anybody in the world, and you just don't have meaningful choices. Like, you can't sit down and think of something that's healthy or good to come up with for a choice that you're going to set for yourself. Like, I choose to have this. I choose to learn to do this. I choose to have amazing total health. I choose to increase my athletic performance. I choose to be a better husband. I choose to be a better person. If you can't do that, then you're probably not following your internal compass. Again, you can always reach out to Andrew and myself, but we can get you on the path to that. The internal compass is super important. If you're not living by it, you're living a lie, and it'll drain your nerve energy big time. So just be careful. And just be careful of those around you, because if you tell somebody, like I did, hey, I want to be a natural health practitioner. I want to go into the holistic world. I want to do energy stuff. I want to work on forgiveness and dealing with OTEs, original trauma events. Most of my family, I should say all of my family, didn't support me. All of my family to this day thinks that what I'm doing is weird, hippie-ish. So you have to be careful of how much you take in from what people are saying, the chatter as they call it, because even your family will most likely not support you. Your friends, nobody really. It's an envy thing in my mind. People don't want to see you succeed because then they feel bad about themselves. So they'll always deter you. So just be careful about your life. Make sure it's purposeful and you have meaningful choices. So that's number 9. That's a big one. And then number 10, I think, and a lot of researchers think, is probably the most important. Obviously, diet's important, food, air, all that stuff. But this one, nurturing relationships, number 10. And what does that mean? Nurturing relationships are healthy, happy, beneficial relationships. And what's the most important relationship you'll ever have in your whole lifetime? And that's with yourself. Number 1 relationship you'll ever have is with yourself. If you can't love yourself, you can't love somebody else. So you really need to do some sitting. You can jump into number 4, your rest and relaxation. You can sit and meditate and think about, do I love myself? Am I happy with where I am in life? Because I can guarantee if you're not consciously happy with yourself, you will struggle to build reserves of nerve energy and to even conserve it, because you're always thinking, I don't like doing this. Oh, my life, isn't where I want it to be. Oh, this isn't what I was meant to do. I'm struggling. So you have to love yourself. You'll hear a lot of people that, especially successful, like billionaires and stuff, they'll say, I had to be alone to find who I was, to love myself, to have a great relationship with myself. I did that after my divorce, and I took some time and I lived alone, and it was super beneficial. And then you want to have people around you that are nurturing relationships. Too many of us will stay in relationships, as I did in the past, for way too long for the wrong reasons. And you need to be very careful of that because that'll damage you big time. It'll create OTEs. You'll really struggle to ever love yourself again if you let somebody walk all over you and damage you, and take advantage of you. So we all struggle with our own demons or our own issues. Just be careful of what you're allowing into your life. Make sure you love yourself. Remember, there's only one of you. You're unique. You're one of a kind. You're the only one of you in the universe. And you think about that. Look out into the night sky sometime. Look at all the stars, which are all suns, which all have planets around them. So you're the only one in that whole thing that you can see, and even more that we can't see. There's only one of you. That's special. That's rare. That's unique. So no matter what you like, if you like, to eat meat, love yourself for that. If you're plant-based, love yourself for that. If, you're not sure how to come out to your family about a sexual preference or something, you still have to love yourself. People are going to judge you, and you just have to realize that it doesn't matter because the most important relationship is with yourself. So that's number 10, nurturing relationships. And that can even go to bosses. If you're in an unhealthy situation with a boss or a coworker, it'll drain you. It'll drain your nerve energy. So remember, nerve energy, again, is critical. It's electrical current, the low-grade electrical current or electricity that's created by your brain every day. So today, my brain created a certain amount of nerve energy. And that's what it has to spend. So if I go being a plant-based eater and I run up the road and I grab some steak and, grab some beers and stuff like that, my body's going to go into a pretty big tailspin because it's going to be like, well, hold up. This is how you've been eating. This has been your lifestyle. And now you just threw all this at us. So stuff won't digest. Chemicals will build up because you can't eliminate them. And most likely I'll sit on the couch because I'll be bloated and stuff. And my nerve energy will be gone. And then depending on how much of that reserves of the pretend battery I have, it'll use that up to try to digest and eliminate. And when that runs out, then your body starts doing bad things. Tumors are pretty much nothing more than an accumulation of toxins or chemicals that your body couldn't get rid of. So it stored it, encapsulated it, and then, as we know, it turns into very bad things. So be very careful with your nerve energy. It's critical for your total health, well-being, happiness, athletic performance, and just having that overall happy, amazing life with, that you have meaningful choices and that you really love to be alive. So those are the 10 energy enhancers. You can always reach out to us at www.cleanslatehealthandwellness.com. I have a Facebook group, Stuck in a Hole, that you can check out. And we have Clean Slate Health and Wellness LLC on Facebook. We're on Instagram. Angie has Rising Above Trauma group. So you can check all that out. You can always comment. You can always call us, email, whatever. Just realize that all of us, including myself, are not perfect. We all need guidance and help at some point, whether it's with food, any of these 10 energy enhancers. Even if you can only put one of them in, even if you can only do getting more sleep, that's a start. Try to incorporate a new energy enhancer every week. If you start with one, do another one the next week and slowly incorporate them. Some people have to do it fast because they're told they have a serious medical condition or, lots of things that can come up that, okay, I have to do these now. Cold turkey is a good word for some of them where you have to quit something like immediately. So try to incorporate as many of the energy enhancers as possible. I'll put a link to our page on here, and you can always, like I said, go to cleanslatehealthandwellness.com. I'll throw up the PDF on there that has the list of the 10 energy enhancers. You can check out our YouTube channel, Clean Slate Health and Wellness. I have a video on every single one of the energy enhancers that breaks them down a little bit more. So I appreciate and thank you for joining. Please have a great day. And remember, you create your day, so make it a great one. And I'll see you in the next video.